very good morning to you. Welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is the 6th of May, Wednesday, 2026, and we have what we call a very special version of the show. Why do we call it that? Things happen when you have a small situation, and streaming television is small. So you're looking at the bottle washer and the juggler. Pam is the person who drives the Uber, and I don't mean she really drives an Uber. I mean she does everything. And so we also have our meteorologist Mike, who runs his own graphics, etc. And literally 2 minutes to our show, my scripts, hundreds of scripts in my computer went and they're gone. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we could call in. Let's bring in Mike, meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, we're going to recall the 40 years of broadcast ability and see if we could tap dance through the show just based on some highlights and notes that I had from last night. Are you
Oh,
game?
no. Oh, no. You mean there's no paper scripts and backups in the cloud? What's going on here?
I use a computer program, a prompter program called Elgato. And this happened one other time about 7 months ago, but it happened the night before while I was working on scripts, where all the
Uh-huh.
scripts, all the files,
Oh,
literally
no.
1,000 files, 1,000 different days, all disappeared. It just happened now. So
Oh,
we're going to make
no.
it work. So I bow to you, sir, meteorologist Mike Favetta.
Okay.
Today, going to be not like yesterday, right? Rainy, cloudy, and
No,
ugly.
no, no, no. There is a lot to talk about in the world of weather this morning, Ken. Yeah, good morning to you. We start off sunny and dry and bright and beautiful, but that does not last. There are already clouds working in across northern New Jersey, now crossing over 287 just in the last few minutes. You can see that rain knocking on our door, about to cross the Delaware any minute. That wet weather gets going through the rest of the morning, probably after the morning rush is when we'll see those clouds take over with the showers and give us that wet weather throughout this evening into tomorrow. So it's a long line of showers stretching well back down toward the mid-Atlantic. And as that rain moves east, it'll give us a healthy soaking later on today. The futurecast plays it out very nicely. It's along the front. You can see here, zoom on into New Jersey. The heaviest rain gets going right around the lunch hour, giving us some good downpours and wet weather throughout this afternoon. Then we get a break later on tonight into tomorrow morning. Any showers will likely be confined toward the coasts. Get a healthy amount of sunshine tomorrow morning, and then maybe another sprinkle tomorrow afternoon. But by then, for Friday, we dry things out, and it will be notably cooler because with the cold front doing its job, it really chills things down. Might even get a few passing showers again Friday afternoon before, what do you know, more rain comes in on Saturday morning. So, yes, it's a very wet pattern over the next few days, keeping our eyes on the skies, especially with all of this rain headed toward New Jersey, and yet more showers beyond that going into the weekend. We'll time it all out for you with another check of your futurecast, Ken. That's coming up in a few minutes.
All right, coming up in a few minutes. Very good, Mike. We will check back with you just so that people know it is 63 degrees in Trenton right now, 65 degrees in northern New Jersey. It is 60 degrees in Cape May and 61 down in Vineland. And we look at California, Los Angeles, 63 right now. It's 61 degrees in San Diego. In terms of traffic, what we have is a gas main break, and this is on Route 18 southbound by Old Bridge Turnpike, Edgeboro Road area in East Brunswick. A right lane is closed. There's a hazmat spill on Route 31, both directions, north of Hampton Road in Glen Gardner. Glen Gardner, that's got to be a South Jersey town, right? I don't think I've ever heard of Glen Gardner. I'm a North Jersey guy, but it must be a nice town. Sounds nice. All lanes are closed. So again, that's Route 31, both directions, north of Hampton Road in Glen Gardner. All lanes are closed there. There's a crash on the Atlantic City Expressway. And when that happens, that's usually a mess because in many cases you don't have any alternates. So on the Atlantic City Expressway, eastbound east of exit 38, Route 536 in Winslow Township, left lane is closed. They're saying move over for emergency workers, please, as they make their way there. But it's hard to navigate that road in some areas. And then right now, your Hudson River crossings, we have in the upper and lower levels of the GWB, heavy but moving. We're told it's about 25 to 30, according to my list right here. Look at the Lincoln and Holland also. It's about 25 minutes in right now at this early hour. Go to California. We have a traffic hazard reported, and this is on Catella Avenue, by the Costco gas station. It was a hit and run with no injuries, fortunately, but there's a lot of police activity. That's in Santa Fe Springs. There's a collision that just happened in East LA on Whittier Boulevard. And we have missing elderly in Los Angeles. So a silver alert. The woman's name is Bernarda. If you see an elderly woman in Los Angeles proper at this early hour, it's only 4:10 in the morning. Please call police. Don't try to approach the person. Also in South LA, there's a collision, no injuries, and that's at the 405 and Lakewood Boulevard off ramp. It is 10 minutes past the hour right now, and you have to check out this new video of the United jet that on Sunday was coming in for a landing. Check this out. This was coming in for a landing on one of the runways at Newark. Now, the deal is we find out more. We knew there would be more information. See how it's clipping? Look at it clip the tractor trailer. You can actually see the landing gear flip. So normally the landing gear is flared up like this, like that, and then it hits the truck, so it levels out. It's not supposed to level out till it hits the ground, but the landing gear gets caught like that, and it flips forward, hitting the truck. You do realize that if that plane literally was 1 foot lower, maybe even less than that, that truck wouldn't have been just grazed and see that because the guy only had some damage, some injury due to flying glass. He would have been killed. There's no question. We couldn't have shown this video. And that right there, that's the landing gear. See the scrape up on the tire? That's all the plane got. That's amazing. But that is the new video from that jet. So now the jet was coming in on the shorter runway. Most major jet ports in the country have a longer runway and a shorter runway with at different angles. When they structured Newark, as opposed to JFK and LaGuardia, where you have the landing strips in different directions, Newark is fashioned in such a way that you often get crosswinds. And on Sunday, if you recall, we had 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. So they had to bring the jets in on the short runway. Now, that is not a little 737. That's a 767. That's a big ass jet. And it was loaded with passengers. And remember, the pilots have a little fatigue. They just flew 8 hours from Venice. So don't think that doesn't have something to do with it, too, for like the difference of a foot. Anyway, as they came in, they clipped the truck. They're going to be reviewing that and whether you should have 767s coming on that short runway, I'm sure. But nonetheless, had to show you the new video. And when we come back in just a moment, we have new video of that awful fire in Belleville. Fortunately, nobody died, but we're going to talk about that when we come back. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato, and we are live East Coast and West Coast. Back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Wednesday, May 6th, and we are going to check our forecast right now. Meteorologist Mike Favetta. It looks not so bad, Mike, right now. When you peek outside in the Northeast, it looks like, oh, it's not going to be that bad a day. The forecasters are calling for
Mm-mm.
rain. Just
Right.
hold on.
That's right. The rain is racing toward us. So even though it's bright and beautiful and sunny now, already, Ken, you look outside and the weather has changed just in the last few minutes. The clouds already in place, the rain shortly arriving thereafter. And with this large cold front spreading up and down the East Coast, this is where our rain is coming from the north and west. And with it, behind it, some very chilly weather that sets up for the rest of the week. Now, it's just gentle showers for us today in the Northeast. But down south, it gets a little stormy with some flooding rains and downpours as the jet stream dips down there, allowing for the potential for even some tornadic activity with some severe weather down across, well, Tornado Alley, where you'd expect severe weather this time of year, especially in May. Take you through hour by hour for the rest of this afternoon. We're a little wet. And then tomorrow we get a chance to dry out late in the morning into the early afternoon, but another round of showers comes in for Saturday, late morning, early afternoon, kind of widespread across New Jersey, and that will lead to a pretty cloudy day on Sunday with more rain for Sunday night into Monday. So it's this pattern of showers pretty much every day until we get to Monday, and then we look to dry things out a little bit for next week. So again, with that future cast showing all of these rains moving their way through, it's just round after round, as it's pretty quiet across the Midwest, and even with the air clearing out down south. Out west, also nice and dry. No big storms entering the picture, keeping things dry for you down in Southern California and even up to the Pacific Northwest. It's just another, well, issue of these showers that keep coming through. And while the pollen has been very high the last few days, today we will finally see the tree pollen lower and the grass pollens lower back to the just high levels. So some good news there. We'll talk more about the West Coast coming up, let you know what to expect after you had a few days of rain out west. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Ken.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. And we take a look at the temperatures in the area. Right now, we have a temp in Newark of 65 degrees. It is 63 degrees in Trenton. I love how the locals pronounce stuff. Of course, I'm from Lower Westchester County. Oh, we speak like this. No, we don't. But nonetheless, I love Newark every time I hear somebody say that. We look over in California. We have 63 degrees Los Angeles and 61 degrees now in San Diego. A little ocean breeze there for them. Checking traffic in the area, there's a hazmat spill, Route 31, and that's impacting traffic in both directions, north of Hampton Road and Glen Gardner. All lanes are currently closed. Route 18, East Brunswick, we have a gas main break southbound by Old Bridge Turnpike, Edgeboro Road, and that has the right lane closed. Over to the Pulaski Skyway. It's always bad when we have problems on the Pulaski because there's nowhere to go. You're elevated for most of it. The Pulaski Skyway, we have a disabled vehicle northbound by South Kearney in South Kearney proper, and the right lane is closed there. So that's causing massive delays right now. Atlantic City Expressway, we have a crash eastbound in the area of exit 38 Winslow Township, and the left lane is closed there. Move over for emergency workers, we're told. Your Hudson River crossings. Right now, the Lincoln Tunnel reporting 25 to 30 minutes in. Pam, could you bring up Route 139? This is from the Turnpike, please, I should say. Use the magic word. This is the from the New Jersey Turnpike to the Holland Tunnel, and we take a look at Route 139, which religiously gets heavy at this time. So we'll take a peek if we could. There it is. See, Pam is with her magical fingers. And that is Route 139. You can see jamming, especially on the left side of your screen, which is which of the tubes? The right tube, I know. I'm trying to think. They refer to it as the north tube or the south tube, but nonetheless, one of the tubes is obviously stopped up going into the or through the Hudson River. We will keep an eye on that. Lincoln Tunnel, again, is 25 to 30. So that's the Holland Tunnel, which is now 35 minutes. And the GWB, upper and lower levels, reporting 35 minutes already. It's moving, but heavy. Upper level on the right, lower level on the left. To Los Angeles we go. A couple of items to report. There's a fire now on the 10 at Route 60 westbound. That's in central LA. And this is early, mind you. It's only 19 minutes past the hour. There's a collision now to report in central LA at the 110 and West Adams. And we have another collision that just came up in East LA on Whittier Boulevard. It is 20 minutes past the hour. And yesterday in Newark, hundreds of New Jersey's most dynamic women came together, and this was at NJ Pack for a powerful afternoon of purpose and connection. The annual Women at NJ Pack Spring Luncheon brought the community together to celebrate sunshine, sisterhood, and the impact of giving back. This year's event raised an impressive $475,000, and it was all in support of NJ Pack's social impact initiatives. Now, that includes arts education, community engagement, and programs focused on arts and well being, helping expand access to the arts all across New Jersey. A highlight of the afternoon honoring Karen C. Young, chair of the PwC's U.S. Board of Partners and Principals, with the 2026 Ronnie Goldberg Award for her outstanding contributions and longtime commitment to women at NJ Pack. I had to look up PwC. My lack of corporate knowledge. That's PricewaterhouseCoopers, now goes by the initials PwC. The program also featured a keynote conversation with Michelle Thornton-Gee, joined by AJ Andrews, inspiring attendees with a message of leadership and empowerment. What a great place. And with a sold out crowd filling the room, the energy was undeniable. 3 decades of support, fueled by women committed to making a difference. A meaningful day and a powerful reminder of what is possible when community and purpose come together. Well, for those who did not see what happened in other news here, what happened over the weekend in Belleville. I used to live in Belleville. Great community. It's right between Newark, or Newark, as they would say in the locals, Newark and Nutley. So when you come out of Belleville, Bloomfield Avenue or Route 7, uh, Washington Avenue, Belleville, downtown area, the next town over is Nutley. So you literally go from the urban center of Newark to super suburbia in Nutley, and Belleville is the buffer zone right between. Great town, great restaurants, a lot of shopping. It's a nice area, nice houses. And what happened on Sunday in Newark was one of the mattress factories on Cortlandt Street, which is down by Washington Ave. Watch this. See the guy on the right. He's just a second ago, he used, you see right above him in the middle right of the screen, see the fire? So he has in his hand a steel grinder. They build mattresses there. Those are mattress frames and whatnot. So apparently one of the sparks flew and hit either some of the material that stuffs mattresses or some of the wood. And I don't know where the fire suppression equipment is. Apparently the sprinklers either didn't have to be there because it's a warehouse or weren't working. But look at how fast fire can spread. This is why people who think, oh, I don't need a fire extinguisher, who cares? Look at how fast. We're talking 20 seconds. It went from nothing to an inferno. You see this? So they grab the only thing they have with water, a little sprinkler hose. Look at the guy on the right with a little sprinkler hose, trying desperately to put that out while the other guy's calling the fire department. But this is what they got. This is what led to the destruction, literally the destruction of a chunk of downtown Belleville, one of the worst fires in the history of that part of Essex County. Fortunately, nobody died. A miracle, but it destroyed 4 major warehouse buildings, and there is potentially toxic smoke in the area. So as a result, you see this right here. The schools in Belleville, which are located in that area, are closed for yet a third day today. They were closed Monday, they were closed yesterday, they are closed again today because number one, that area is full of dilapidated buildings now. The buildings had to be knocked down or fell down on their own. The roads are flooded because of all the fire department hose. It was a 14 alarm fire, 14 alarms. They had fire trucks from 5, 6, 7 towns around, literally round the clock, because this burned Sunday into Monday. There are still hot spots today they're putting out. They're testing the air to make sure environmentally you could be in the air. It's one thing to walk through it for a second. It's another thing, like for students, to sit there for 6 hours. So they're not going to let anyone there until they can confirm that air is clean for children. And then also 50 homes had to be evacuated. There are people who own or live in 50 homes and apartments in that area. They can't go back right now. There's no electricity, no gas, no water, and they can't go to their homes and they can't breathe that air. So this is a real mess, and this is going to take probably weeks for that town to get back to normal. And it's a great town. I lived there 7 years. I loved it. I have tons of neighbors whom I still am dear friends with in Belleville. So it's a great town. I just hope they get back on their feet soon. Awful. It is 24 minutes past the hour. I don't know if you know about this that happened in, I believe this was in Mawa. Check out this beaver attack. Watch this. This family, look at this. Little boy and his family, they're just by a lake in Mahwah, New Jersey, and he's doing a little fishing, and apparently a bee. Look at that! They threw the beaver. The beaver came charging at him. Now, maybe the beaver, maybe it's mating season. Maybe there's a beaver mama. No joke. I know it sounds like I'm playing. I'm not. Maybe there was a beaver mama with little beaver pups, and I believe they are called pups nearby. And so that beaver came charging out of the water and lashed onto the boy. The boy was trying to get away when he saw it. The boy tripped and fell, and the beaver latched onto the boy's thigh, and they couldn't get him off. Can you imagine his teeth? They got those big, we see pictures. We think beaver teeth no, beaver teeth are like that. They sink in like an inch and a half. So this kid was like getting stabbed in the thigh, this poor little kid. So they were able to throw the beaver back in the water. They dragged the kid away. The beaver kept like back to the shore. He was like, "Yeah, I want more of you." So they called animal control. Animal control, they didn't kill it. They captured the beaver. They have to test it to see if it had rabies. But it may just be that because it's mating season, the beaver was doing what beavers do. Beavers will do that. So we just hope the young boy is going to be okay. He's going to be traumatized. That's for sure. I don't know if he's going to want to go fishing anytime soon. But just be careful for that. When you're around, you're in their environment, their habitat. We always have to be on the lookout. It is 26 minutes past the hour. Very quickly, I want to talk about this too. The redistricting thing that's going on, because this year is the midterms, and traditionally in the midterms, whatever party has the presidency, the other party tends to win Congress, the House and the Senate, or at least one or the other. And because there's so much Trump derangement syndrome, whether you like Trump or not, whether you like Trump or not, you could hate him, and there's plenty of reasons to hate him. You should keep your hate in check. Listen, doesn't mean you got to agree with him. You don't have to agree with him on anything, but you don't have to be. Anyway, it's gotten to the point where every Democrat state wants to redistrict because, and granted, Texas and Florida, they were redistricting. But if you were to redistrict every state that could be redistricted, the Republicans would actually gain about 10 more seats. So it's a backfire. So now Governor Sherrill wants to redistrict New Jersey. The problem is in New Jersey, the Constitution says there's an independent commission that you have to have that is equal amounts of Democrats and Republicans and a few independents that get chosen by both. So I don't know that that's going to happen, and certainly not in time for the midterms. We'll see what happens. When we come back, we're going to talk about how one New Jersey community is shining a light on the extraordinary impact of simple acts of kindness. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings, and Mornings with Ken Rosato nationwide. We'll be back in 2. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Wednesday, the 6th of May, 2026. And you look outside in the Northeast and you say, wow, there's a little sunshine out today. It's going to be a nice day. And then meteorologist Mike Favetta comes and he, I don't know, what would you say? He pisses on your candle. Can we say that? No. What did Judge Judy used to say? Don't pee on my leg and call it rain. So Mike,
Okay.
are you telling me that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, I brought out recycling? I thought, it's a nice
It was
morning. It's pretty
beautiful. It
fresh
was
out.
very
It was
pretty.
like 50
Yes, I
something
saw the
degrees.
rays of sun, the clear sky, and I thought, "Uh-oh, did I mess up the forecast?" And then the radar pops up, and I went, "Oh no, here it comes." So yeah, there is a lot of rain headed toward New Jersey, arriving within the next 2 to 3 hours. So clouds quickly take over, and then the rain moves in. But it's dry out west. We've been enjoying the clear sky for you folks out west, especially down in Southern California, as most of the West Coast is a little bit above average in terms of temperature. It's a cooler trend, however, for the rest of the country. Look at that shade of blue extending right down toward the Florida Panhandle and the Gulf states. It's front after front that cools us down over the next few days, and that'll keep things a little chilly around here, especially as we head into tomorrow and Friday with highs only getting into the 50s and 60s, much cooler than we've enjoyed over the last few days. And of course, there's good chances of rain as well, with some severe weather down south in Tornado Alley. But again, across the East Coast, here's the rain lining up right now. This is overnight, and then you go a little bit further in time, and you can see right now that rain is just about to cross the Delaware into New Jersey as we speak right now. So it's really not too far behind. So that wet weather gets going later on this morning, lasting into this evening, and then tomorrow starts dry again, but sees showers by the afternoon. So another round of wet weather on the way for tomorrow. We'll break it down for you coming up, Ken, with another check of your forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Here comes the rain again, falling through what are the words? I forget. I don't falling on my head like a tragedy. You didn't
I'll have
know
to
that
look
the
that one
Eurythmics
up.
sang it in opera first, did you? It was like an
No.
1831 opera. I'm kidding. I'm absolutely lying through my teeth. I wanted to see if you had your coffee yet, Mike. All right. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you as always. 65 degrees northern New Jersey, 63 degrees in Trenton. Go to California. It is 63 degrees right now in Los Angeles and 64 in San Diego. So the temps, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, we're tied up there pretty good. I love when that happens. Pretty soon it's going to be warmer in New Jersey every morning than in Southern California. Well, of course, it's also 3 hours later in New Jersey. We check traffic right now, and we have a hazmat spill, Route 31. And this is affecting both directions north of Hampton Road in Glen Gardner. All lanes are currently closed. Pulaski Skyway, big problem. We have a disabled vehicle northbound South Kearney area. The right lane of 2 lanes closed. Look at the buildup of traffic as people are on the Pulaski there. Stuck. This is the very beginning of the Pulaski as you come on. Just an absolute mess from Jersey City. Good luck to those good folks. That's going to be a while before they can get that. The problem is when you have a problem with a disabled or breakdown or an accident on Pulaski, you can't get an emergency vehicle up there. Sometimes they have to back it on. And that's the problem. So that's going to cause them some time. Atlantic City Expressway, we have a crash right now eastbound in the area of exit 38, Winslow Township. Left lane is closed. Move over for emergency vehicles. There's a gas main break, Route 18. That's by Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. The right lane of 3 lanes closed on that. And the approaches to the Hudson River, we look at 139 coming, look at that, bumper to bumper, coming from the Turnpike to the Holland Tunnel. And you can see those lanes on the right side of your screen. That's for the left tube. Absolutely stopped right now. That's going to cost you about 35 minutes, by the way, into Manhattan. The approach to the Lincoln Tunnel, 495 Helix, is about 25 minutes in. GWB, upper and lower levels, actually not a bad ride. It's 30 minutes, but at least you're outside as opposed to being trapped in a tunnel. And it is moving. Upper level is on the right, lower on the left. Upper will save you about 2 or 3 minutes right now. To California, we have a couple of issues. There is a traffic collision in central LA on the 110 at West Adams. We have a hit and run, no injuries outside the Costco station at Santa Fe Springs at 5401 Catella Avenue. And there's a missing elderly, silver alert. Woman's name is Bernarda. That's in LA proper. If you see an elderly woman walking alone at 4:34 a.m. right now in LA, please call police. Don't approach the person, but keep an eye on them until police could arrive. 35 minutes past the hour, one New Jersey community is shining a light on the extraordinary impact that simple acts of kindness can have on people's lives. At Christian Health in Wyckoff, more than 400 volunteers from teens to older adults are helping create moments of joy and friendship and connection for residents and patients every single day. Now, in 2025 alone, volunteers contributed more than 17,800 hours of service. And that proves that volunteerism is about far more than donating time, it is about building community. Sue Kelly is the foundation director at Christian Health. She joins us now to share these inspiring stories and talk about how important it is to have intergenerational volunteerism to teach younger people, especially how you got to care for the older folks, right? Good morning to you, Sue. Good to have you on.
My pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Tell us about the importance of volunteerism and how important a part it is of the culture at Christian Health.
Yeah, Christian Health, our volunteers are such an important part of our mission. They embody our mission. They're the most extraordinary example of power in a community. And they're so generous with their time and their talents. And they're filled with compassion and commitment to others. They're so extraordinary that what they do and what they serve, they're examples to others in the community that what they do is far bigger than who they are. They show us that service is not just something that they do, but it is really a part of who they are.
Yeah, and that is an essential thing, and it's an essential thing to teach younger people too, right? We talk about intergenerational volunteerism, and younger people I think tend to throw away in their minds. They throw away people who are older, although not all, clearly, but especially those who may not have the experience of having grandparents or older aunts and uncles. And so intergenerational care like that and volunteerism is really important, right?
It's a huge important factor, and it's quite a wonderful example of what's happening here at Christian Health. You know, as you mentioned, we have over 409 volunteers. 203 are the young teens from 13 to 18. The adults are over 19. And that intergenerational aspect is really beautiful, where they have shared experiences, they have mutual learning, they teach each other, especially maybe with technology or just enjoying conversation and fellowship. It's so interesting. Some of the teens that come in, they start off being a little shy, and then they kind of
Mm.
come out of their shell. Some of them come to serve because they have requirements through Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, or things of that nature, and or some who just really want to get out and spend time with seniors because they themselves have grandparents and appreciate the value of that connection. And it's just incredible, and it really builds bridges across these generations, and it benefits everybody involved.
Yeah, I mean, I have an 88-year-old mother and 95-year-old father, and I see the way they light up when my brother's grandchild comes in. So this would be their great grandchild, 3 years old. When he is in the room, they go from happy to overjoyed. There's some magic about the multiple generations when it skips a few generations, and even the little one, you would think that, well, why does a little kid want to be there? Why would you subject that? My grandnephew is so in love with my 95-year-old dad. You have no idea. He doesn't want to leave his side. There's something about that. So now you have, in this case, a 13-year-old who plays chess
Mhm.
and dedicated his bar mitzvah project to volunteering.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Extraordinary. There's so many examples. I know I'm limited on time, but examples of chess, or other games. Like they come every week and they want to be there and they want to spend that time, and they stay for hours. And it's just it breaks down a little bit of isolation for some of our seniors whose families may not be local. And having those volunteers, whether it's the young teens or the adults come in, it's very powerful, and it's so beautiful, and it changes the landscape of the day. It changes the whole attitude and positivity. We have actually, speaking of the young to the seniors, we have a 95-year-old a volunteer who comes to visit and helps transport some of our residents to their physical and occupational rehab services. So it's just beautiful, and I really commend all the juniors and the teens and the scouts and the Eagle Scouts, and they build things, and they you know raised planter boxes, and just support the communities, and it's really extraordinary. Over 15 high schools, elementary schools in the Bergen Passaic County area serve our organization, which is really amazing.
So I understand you. So you also have pet therapy there. How do they
Yes.
respond to the pet therapy?
This is one of my favorite topics, being a fur mommy myself. Our pet therapy program is so robust. We have about 6 certified pet therapists, and it's a very formalized national program that they put their pets through. But those beautiful puppies that come in, our residents know them by name. That sense of touch, that connection, that is just so beautiful. And it's really changes a lot of our residents' days, especially where they go back in time and think about memories of when they had their dog and maybe that dog is no longer. And it just brings so much positivity and connection. So we're loving that aspect of the program growing. So
Yeah. I mean, otherwise in a facility like that, my parents have been in rehab facilities, which are nursing homes basically. And you go in and it's tough. It's a long day. It's a long day. And it's the same day for many of them. So they look forward to, and I hate to use the umbrella they. I just this is the reality that we're all going to face. And you don't want to look forward to just waking up, getting a bath, watching TV, going to bed. You need some activity in your life. And having this, and the fact that you spend so much time making sure that life is valued up until the very, very last breath is so essential. It means so much. And it also means so much for the volunteers, too, right? They take away something very special and a respect for life when they spend that time with somebody older and they know what's coming for them. And it helps you learn dignity, I would imagine, for yourself as you get older too.
no question. For many of our residents, this is their forever home. And I really pay such credit to our volunteers and all of our activity staff and staff across the board with over 1,400 staff, and we serve 1,000 people every day. This is an incredible organization, Christian Health. And, the most beautiful part too is it really changes everybody involved. I mean, I want to emphasize the fact that the families, that they feel so comforted knowing that their loved one is engaged and supported and cared for, and the
Mm.
staff also benefit by that support from our volunteers, which is really extraordinary. And it's just spreads this immense positivity that really ripples through the whole organization. And our volunteers, they know that they are a very special part of the Christian Health family, and they help create this environment where compassion is at the forefront. And to your point, it's about every little moment, celebrating birthdays, celebrating a wedding anniversary, celebrating the day, whether it's a themed party or something of that nature. We cover the gamut, as you could imagine, the creativity with our volunteers and our activities team. So it's really powerful.
Sue, I don't mean to cut you, but we're going to hit a hard break here. They're going to bump right into a commercial while we're talking. I just need a web address, please, so everybody can check you guys out.
Got it. For more information, you can find information on christianhealthnj.org under programs. There's a volunteer landing page and has all the information to apply and just learn more. Our home is your home. Come and join us and volunteer.
All right, Sue Kelly, Foundation Director of Christian Health. It's nice to know that there is a great caring organization out there for all of us as we age. It is part of the reality of life. Thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You bet. And when we come back, fashion's biggest night once again has taken over New York City. Our fashionista, Dawn Del Russo, will be here to tell us about it. 2 minutes. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Wednesday, 46 minutes past the hour. It is the 6th of May. My gosh, it was like, wasn't the last day of April just a few days ago? Oh, yeah, that's the way it works. Anyway, just interesting to see the weather now. It's already starting to change. We see some clouds starting to move into New Jersey, New York area, and temps are going to stay kind of where they are, maybe up a few degrees. Los Angeles, we see mostly sunny skies already as the sun is trying to peek over at 4:46 a.m. 63 degrees right now there. Let's go to meteorologist Mike Favetta and find out the full Garden State and Los Angeles and San Diego
Mhm.
forecasts. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken. Love that we're already approaching the summer solstice, just over 6 weeks away. So, yeah, we see these nice long daylight hours sunsetting now after 8 p.m. here in New Jersey. And like you had mentioned, clear sky right now across LA with the lovely northerly breezes keeping a lot of that marine layer, all of those clouds just offshore. So it stays nice and dry for you today, tomorrow, and even right through Friday. And this is after several days of rain out along the West Coast. So beautifully dry conditions for you. A little bit of that marine layer entering San Francisco, but nothing but clear sky today. Different than the rain showers we had just yesterday, prompting all of those accidents down across LA with a little bit of a light shower. Well, the rain comes into New Jersey this afternoon, and with that wet weather getting going, likely in the next few hours, entering the picture, say later this morning into the early afternoon. As that rain gets going, it's accompanied by cooler than average weather. Look at the shade of purple. This is something you would see more so in the wintertime with this Arctic air. It's not Arctic, but it's still cooler than average. That moves down across the Northeast into New Jersey. That will send temperatures down into the 40s at night, afternoon highs only in the 50s. So chilly, not just for us here in the Northeast, but even back into the upper Midwest. So that cool weather sticks around over the next several days and keeps it chilly and wet even into the weekend with high rain chances going on into Saturday and then again for Mother's Day on Sunday. We'll dry things out by Monday of next week, but we have another round of rain that comes in about a week from now. So about 2 inches of rain are expected to fall within the next 7 days. So a pretty wet and cool period ahead. Oh yeah, and windy too. You saw those winds whipping yesterday out of the east. So some pretty spring-like conditions here as we're just kind of waiting to warm things up for summer.
So now, speaking of wind, I mean, you saw what happened obviously with the United jet on Sunday. We were having like 20, 25 mile an hour gusts as that jet was coming in. Did you know what direction the winds were coming from on Sunday at that time? It was about
Well,
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
they were coming from the west and northwest, which is
Ah,
why that Newark Airport is set up to use runway 22, which is that
right,
shorter runway. So the key is the short runway because there's no room to expand Newark Airport with highways on both
right.
sides.
And Newark is one of the smallest. I mean, if you look at the size of JFK and you look at Newark, it's like Newark,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
JFK. There's
Yeah.
and the thing is, the that was a 767, which is a large and heavy. Now 777s are bigger, but 767s are heavy. Because they have a big capacity. 221 passengers, I believe, were on board. And it's not just the passengers; it's all the luggage and whatnot. That's a heavy jet. And to put that on a short runway, that would have never happened if there was rain or if there was a problem with the reverse thruster, right? So on a good day, they figured, oh, it's sunny and dry, let's let them land there. But I'm sure they'll rethink that on a short runway with a 767 that close. So the threshold is literally 200 feet from the edge of the turnpike. And that's what we had an issue with. There we go. Thank you, Pam. Boom. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is a wonder considering how many flights a day come in
Yeah.
that has not happened before. Isn't that crazy?
True.
We look at it
True.
as
Have
we
you
drive. How many times have
driven?
you driven on a highway
Oh,
and you see it,
on
you
the
go, wow,
turnpike.
that's so cool.
On the turnpike. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this poor guy doing the same thing. He's like, look at that big jet. Wow. Oops. 1 foot saved his life. 1 foot. All right, Mike. We appreciate you, sir, as always.
You
Thank you
bet.
very much. It is 67 degrees right now in northern New Jersey, 63 in Trenton, and in California, Los Angeles, 63, 64 now in San Diego. Just a couple of traffic notes to tell you about. We have delays right now on the Garden State Parkway, and that is by exit 137. It's just volume right now, and that's northbound by the Colonia Service area in Woodbridge, all the way to Cranford. They're saying it's about 5 miles. We're only going about 10 miles an hour, just to let you know about that. But it's just fast volume. There's nothing that can be done. It is what it is. Probably pass in about 20 minutes. For those of you traveling to Philadelphia, we have a crash on the Betsy Ross Bridge, and that's impacting traffic both directions on the New Jersey side. The crash is on the Jersey side, but it's impacting traffic in both directions. So in Pennsauken Township, all lanes closed from the C ramp. It says from 130 north to 90W, temporarily closed due to that accident. So try to avoid the Betsy Ross Bridge if you can at all costs. I know we have more viewers in the northern part of New Jersey, but we cover the whole state. So just want to let you know about that. Hazmat spill, Route 31, both directions north of Hampton Road, Glen Gardner, all lanes closed. Gas main break southbound on Route 527, Edgeboro Road in East Brunswick with the right lane closed. Crash on the Atlantic City Expressway right now, and that is east of exit 38, Winslow Township. Move over for emergency workers, please. In your approaches to the Hudson River right now, the Holland and Lincoln both reporting 25 to 30 minutes in. GWB upper and lower levels. Heavy but moving. We take a look at the upper level on the right, lower level on the left. This thing costs you 35 minutes in at this hour. And over to Los Angeles, we have a couple of things to talk about. There is a silver alert in effect in LA proper. They're looking for a woman. And I'm trying to find her name. We had her name here. But Bernarda, her name is Bernarda. Not that you should approach. Remember, if there's a silver alert, you don't approach the person. You call the police, keep an eye on the person until police could arrive. That's in LA proper. Traffic collision now on the 210 by the Route 39 off ramp, and that's in Baldwin Park. Another crash, central LA on the 110 at West Adams Boulevard. 52 minutes past the hour. Fashion's biggest night has once again come and gone. It's taken over New York City. The iconic Met Gala returned to the steps of the Metropolitan Museum of Art with a bold and artistic theme for 2026. Fashion is art. From sculptural couture to museum-worthy statements, this year's red carpet blurred the lines between fashion and fine art, maybe a little crazy too, featuring unforgettable looks from some of the biggest names in entertainment and style. And here to break things down, she's the normal person who could translate some of the craziness for us. It is fashion expert Dawn Del Russo of livetheglamour.com. That's Live the Glamour with an O-U-R. All right, Dawn, please. What the hell with the dollar bill on the face? I just don't get it.
I know. We have to go back into like some art history and some abstract art and all the different layers that combine that people reach to discover, why we're doing these looks on the red carpet. And some of them were a little bit more blurred than others, I would say. But there were some looks that did have a little bit more to connect with, that we were able to say, okay, we understand where this piece came from. The Met Gala started a very long 1948, and it was not completely about doing these wild and crazy costumes. It was to support the foundation and to make money. It was like $50 a ticket, so it really wasn't that expensive. Now, Anna Wintour took over it in 1995, and it became this big extravagant event costing $100,000 a person. So I guess people are coming.
For what it's worth. I'm sorry to step on you. For what it's worth, when you go to the Met, up until like a year ago, you could donate whatever you wanted to donate to come in. So they used to let you give $1 or they would say suggested donation $30, but it costs a fortune to maintain something like that. And I know a lot of millionaires die and leave their $1 million estates to the Met, but think about it. You have like 300 employees to run that place. You have art that has to be kept at perfect temperatures or else it could be destroyed. So it costs hundreds of millions to run something like the Met. And this is probably the epicenter of one of the greatest museums on the planet. So I get it. So if it takes craziness to bring in the money, whatever. Nobody's getting hurt, right?
Exactly. And they do have like the co-chairs you're seeing, Beyonce, Rihanna, Venus Williams. They're all co-chairs and obviously very big names to help bring more of that to this event. And going back to what we were saying, these are essentially costumes. Sabrina Carpenter, she wore Dior, and her entire dress was made out of film, like the old traditional film cameras they made that dress out of. And she actually did it off of a film, a movie she liked named Sabrina. So the creativity there, I love. I think that's what we're supposed to do if we're doing this. If we're doing these red carpets, we're supposed to think of like, how do we envision art for this theme, at least for fashion is art. And some celebrities really did it well. there was I think Venus Williams, she actually replicated, it was called like the double portrait, and she replicated herself from a portrait into her dress. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Blake Lively was in this big billowing beautiful gown that was supposed to be like a watercolor painting, taken after Rococo, the artist. Versace made her dress. So these celebrities, some of them, they really put some thought into it and said, like, what can I take from an actual painting and turn it into, a walking piece of art. Heidi Klum was a sculpture. So that was, I don't know if you caught that one, but that was pretty,
I
there
did.
she
I
is.
did. I was still, I didn't even realize, I did not realize that it was, who was it? Beyonce? Who was the skeleton? I didn't even realize until
Oh
like
yeah,
yesterday that was
yeah, it's
here.
Beyonce
I'm
was
like,
the skeleton, I believe she
Beyonce was
was.
the
Yeah.
skeleton. So when I
Yeah,
saw
she
that, I'm
was,
like, that's Beyonce? I had no idea. But
I
that's the
know.
amazing thing about the art and the art designers and the makeup artists and stuff. That's pretty darn good skill.
It's incredible. I mean, I at first, it's funny because Heidi Klum, she does Halloween all out crazy costumes, and so when I first saw it, I said, "Oh, she did another costume on the runway." But then when I really looked into it and realized it was the veiled statue, and she replicated it almost precisely, is incredible to
Right.
see the time and effort that was put into it. Kendall Jenner also did a look that at first we didn't really know. Zach Posen styled it through Gap Studios. He said he used a t-shirt to do it. And then when she opened up her arms, we realized it was the Winged Victory, which is an incredible piece of art that it actually, if you look at it, it's helping people connect with the two. So you first look at some of the fashion and say, like, this is wild and crazy. What are they doing? Or that doesn't look like anything, or it's just a t-shirt, or it's just that. But I think it's allowing people to really stretch their mind and understand where a lot of this came from, that there is a very big connection between art and fashion.
Well, I was going to wear Scooby Doo. I was going to go as Scooby Doo this year, and at the last second, I had to get my nails done, and there it went. But thankfully, because people wouldn't have been able to unsee that. Don Del Russo, livetheglamour.com. That's livetheglamour.com. Always a pleasure to have you on. We love it when you do give us all this great
Thank
fashion
you.
advice and information. We'll see you again next week, Don. Thank you.
See you next
I
week.
love it. It's you bet. You bet. It's always something new. All right. It is coming up on 8 o'clock for those of you watching on the West Coast on LACA, ONLACA. They're going to have your local news, weather, and traffic coming up. So we leave you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Those of you on the East Coast, continue watching. We'll be on New Jersey, ONNJ, with all your New Jersey news, traffic, and weather. We're coming back in 2 minutes. Have a good day. very good morning to you. It is Wednesday morning, hump day. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is just a minute past 8 o'clock right now. We check the forecast for your Garden State. Meteorologist Mike Favetta saying the clouds are starting to creep in, and here comes the rain again. He's coming. I know Mike is going to be there in a second for us. So we're going to have, I know it started out with some sunshine, and it looked like, well, we're going to have a decent day. It's going to be as beautiful as yesterday, but not so much. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the details with the full Garden State forecast. Hello, sir.
Hello. I was caught in traffic. Had the dog blocking the door, so I had to hop over him because somebody is a little bit lazy this morning, and so taking his time. He's a 7-year-old dog, right? He likes to run the house and
Rocco.
do his own thing. I'm
Rocco's
like,
like,
well, I
dude,
have to go to work.
I'm dealing with two babies as it is. He's telling you, just
Right.
listen. I'm being a good dog. Just get me my treats and let me go poop when I want to go poop. Listen. It's not much to ask.
Not much, not much. But we'll do anything for a treat. Very food motivated dog. So yes, had to bribe him to get to move.
Oh,
But
let's
hey,
see. Your
this morning,
treats, but wait a second. Hold on. Your treats are not like little. Your treats are like eggplant parmesan. Tell everybody what treats Rocco gets. Your treats aren't
salmon
like
skin.
dry little Scooby snacks. I
No,
mean,
there's
God,
salmon
I would do
skin.
anything
He,
for
he
your
gets the
treats.
good stuff. The salmon skin is lovely. He is a
I
big
love
fan. The
it.
crunch, the aroma is a bit much first thing in the morning, but nevertheless, the dog loves it. Hey, we've got some great weather to walk the dog this morning because by this afternoon it gets soaking wet with some very wet weather on the way. It's very mild, however, a nice way to start the day with temperatures in the 60s, still warmer than yesterday. So we continue the warming trend. But that rain that's on the way with a very gusty wind, especially across southern New Jersey right now, 33-mile-per-hour winds in Mount Holly, 23-mile-per-hour winds in Newark. You had some clear sky earlier this morning, but now the clouds quickly take over and the rain on its way. Already some drops falling there along the Delaware in western portion of the state. Throughout the rest of the morning, the rain comes down, likely overspreading the entire state by the midday. And then this afternoon, spotty showers, temperature still in the 60s, but very breezy conditions as well as we take it into the overnight. Now, tomorrow starts off clear. We get a good dose of clear sky early on in the day, maybe some sprinkles by the afternoon. And then Friday, same deal. Cooler, clear sky in the morning, some showers by the end of the day, spotty and intermittent, and then a much chillier Saturday with a lot of rain coming in Saturday morning into the afternoon and a cooler finish to the weekend. So Mother's Day is looking very chilly, especially with highs over the next few days only in the 60s, barely getting into the 60s, I think, by Sunday as that sun returns by Sunday afternoon. We'll give you more details on that coming up with another check of your forecast, Ken, and your next weather update.
All right, appreciate that, sir. And it is now 8:04. We have let's see, we have a bit of a traffic situation going on. Let's check out. I know this is not much of a shot. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway, Pam. Let's take that camera shot if we can. So what we have, you see how it's just beginning to slow down there on the right? This is about a mile before a big problem. There's a crash that just happened in the last 10 minutes on the Garden State southbound north of exit 153A. That's where the intersection of the Garden State is with Route 3 in Clifton. To get off, you have to go to the left. It's a left exit. And now I don't know what lane the crash happened in. It might have been in the right lane because I see off to the right. That's where the slowdown tends to be. Anyway, this is only moving, you see, about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Normally that moves full speed. I guarantee the next report we have, that's going to be stopped. So this is, again, a crash on the Garden State Parkway southbound north of exit 153A, Route 3 in Clifton. All lanes currently open. I'm sure as emergency vehicles get there, that'll change. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's a crash, Route 18 northbound, Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. Left lane is currently closed. We have a crash on the Betsy Ross Bridge, which connects Pensacola, New Jersey, over to Philadelphia. And that's impacting traffic in both directions. The crash is on the Jersey side, and they're telling people to just avoid that bridge if possible right now because it's going to be a while before they can get to the vehicles on the bridge. There's a hazmat spill now, both directions impacted. It is on Route 31 by Hampton Road and Glen Gardner. All lanes are closed. A gas main break on Route 18 southbound by Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. The right lane is closed. Atlantic City Expressway, we have a crash. Eastbound, that's by exit 38 in Winslow. Left lane is closed. Please move over for emergency workers. A lot of problems going across the Hudson River today if we in the tunnels, not so much the bridge. There was an accident on the bridge earlier that's been cleared. But if we take a look at 139, this is the approach to the Holland Tunnel. This has been a mess all morning long. Pam is going to punch that up for us now. You'll see this is coming from the Turnpike to the Holland Tunnel. And look at the amount of traffic we have here right now. That's going to cost you about 30 to 35 minutes in. The Lincoln Tunnel approach by the Helix is about 25 minutes. It's a little bit better. GWB is your best bet. It's 25 minutes, upper and lower levels. You'll see the upper level on the right, lower on the left, even though it looks very heavy, and it's at least moving, albeit slowly. That's going to be, like I said, about 25 to 30 minutes in. 7 minutes after the hour right now, and in communities across central Jersey, inclusion is more than just a message. It is something that people are actively building together. This coming Sunday, May 17th, Mother's Day, families, volunteers, and neighbors will gather for Walk for Friends, an annual event hosted by Friendship Circle of Central New Jersey, and it celebrates connection while raising critical funds for individuals who have special needs. The event combines a meaningful community walk with a fun-filled festival. It's designed for people of all ages in support of programs that bring people together year-round. Joining us now is Mushki Volovic, who is Director of Volunteers. She's going to tell us more. Good morning to you, Mushki.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning. Yes, the walk on May 17th is an incredible day of inclusion and acceptance and fun for the entire community. There's rides, games, obviously the regular walk. And this walk is support of Friendship Circle. Friendship Circle.
Can I stop you for a second? I screwed it up. I said it was this. I apologize. I said it was.
I didn't want to correct you. I
figured
you'd figure it out.
You should have. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry, and I don't mean to digress. We'll start over. We're live, but we'll start over because we're having computer issues on my end. It's me, no one else. So let's start over. On May 17th, Walk for Friends is going to be going on. Now I give it to you. I'm so sorry to screw that up. Walk for Friends.
That's great. You still said May 17th, though.
There we go. Well, but still, I don't want to confuse people. Please, Mushki, I'm so sorry that you screwed that up.
That's good.
Okay. So Walk for Friends, it's a very special event.
Yes, it's an incredibly special event, like you mentioned, of inclusion and acceptance for all, a community event open to everyone. Registration is free, as we want you to come and really experience a day of inclusion and acceptance for all. It is free until Friday, the week before, so Friday the 15th. So sign up before at walkforfriends.com. Again, this walk is to create awareness and funds for the Friendship Circle, a nonprofit organization that runs programs weekly for individuals with special needs, pairing up teen volunteers with their buddies who might have any sort of special needs to create a space where everyone feels accepted, everyone feels included, and where everyone has a friend, because we know that that's really what's most important.
Yeah, and it's so essential. And community events like this are important to get people together because it helps send a message. It helps bring awareness. This is happening in Marlborough, right? At Marlborough Recreational Center?
Yes, Marlborough Rec. The program starts at 1, registration opens at 12. And like you said, it's an extremely important event, open to everyone. And it's really free. So bring your family, bring your friends. You can create a team, you can join us and really create that space where everyone feels included. Like you said, it's Marlborough Rec, programs from 1 to 3, registration opens at 12, but register online and beat the lines.
And I like that, register online and beat the line. Tell us more about the Friendship Circle's programs, and they have an impact on the groups that need them so much all throughout the year.
Yes, our programs run all throughout the year, including summer and winter camps, which are times when a lot of our participants are out of school and really need a structured day. And that's where Friendship Circle comes in to fill out that gap. Otherwise, our programs run every single Sunday. We have a morning program and an evening program. The program does so much for our participants with special needs, but also so much for our teen volunteers. We got local teen volunteers just from the local public schools, and they really just come for the community. They come to give back, come to make a difference, and they spend 2 hours every Sunday just to be there for someone else, which shows so much about the world we live in. Everyone can say so much that this world is selfish, but these teens are getting up every Sunday morning or staying up late every Sunday evening to be there for their buddy, hang out. There's music, crafts, games, karate, yoga, all these different activities that they do together. We have other programs that come up over the holidays. We have programs that come up during the week. We have a Friends at Home program where teen volunteers go to a child with special needs home and hang out with them for 1 hour once a week. There's so much goodness and connection happening at the Friendship Circle. And this is all supported by our annual walk taking place on May 17th.
It is so important for young people to build empathy and learn empathy, I should say, by working with people with special needs. Otherwise, they don't get it. Otherwise, they just look at somebody as being different. And that's what leads to mockery and jokes and bullying. When you have teens working face to face, hand in hand with people who have special needs, that's when they truly become a special human being, isn't it?
It's really true. And we've seen the teens, our alumni Friendship Circle has been around since 2001. And we have alumni who is, now in the working world, who started as, just a teenager in high school volunteering. And they all say it's really shaped who they are, their career paths that they've chosen. And that's exactly what you mentioned is exactly what we focus on. How, we're all different. Some of us are taller, some of us are shorter, long hair, short hair, dark hair, light hair. And we can choose to focus on what makes us different, or we can choose to focus on, the fact that we're all human and we all, are here in this world and we all want to make this world a better place. And so doing that by accepting and loving each other is really what Friendship Circle is all about.
Mushki, tell everybody a website so they can get more information.
So for the walk, our website is walkforfriends.com. If you want to hear more about the Friendship Circle, visit Friends NJ, Friends New Jersey, friendsnj.com, or find us on Instagram at Friendship Circle Central Jersey and Facebook Friendship Circle Central Jersey. We'd love to see you and follow us there.
Terrific. So again, the event is on May 17th, Sunday, May 17th. It's in Barbaro Rec Center. Check it out. Walk for Friends. Mushki Volovic, Director of Volunteers, doing a great job. Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
You bet. You bet. And when we come back, we're going to be talking with our friends from Rider University. We'll be back in 2 minutes, so go away. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 16 minutes past the hour on your Wednesday. It is the 6th of May. Wow, May's flying by. Before you know it, it'll be the 7th of May. How does that happen? Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you. Good morning to you, Mike.
Yeah, that calendar is flying by. Thinking about it too, like how long were those leftovers in the fridge for? I got to think back. Going, yep, time
Listen,
time to get rid of
I
them.
have a theory. I have a theory. As long as the fuzz that starts growing on top, as long as the fuzz can be
Ew.
scraped off,
No, no,
I'm getting
no.
I'm getting collective oohs from Pam, from you. Okay, all right. So what you're saying is I should not have eaten that green thing yesterday that was in the fridge. All right, now I understand why I have the gas X next to me. Okay. Sorry. So the
On
rain
that
is on its
note,
way. Is that what you're telling me? The rain is on its
yeah, yeah.
way.
A little bit of a wet forecast this afternoon, even though we started off bright and beautiful this morning. Clear sky giving way to clouds, and then the rain takes over, likely within the next hour or two, as those showers racing across the state, moving in from the west right now and sending temperatures down into the 70s and even the 60s at the coast. Very windy, too. You feel those winds with the gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. So it's a long line of showers that gives us our rain throughout this afternoon, and we'll take you through hour by hour in the futurecast, showing as those showers move their way through into this afternoon, giving us the rain into probably 5, 6 o'clock. There'll be some sprinkles around this evening, but then some storms begin to pop up after dark, closer to 8 or 9 o'clock down the shore. That all clears out for a pretty day tomorrow. We start off dry, stay sunny through the afternoon, maybe a few clouds by the end of the day. And then Friday again starts off clear, a few afternoon sprinkles, but nothing to really worry about rain-wise. It's Saturday that has a round of storms that comes in late morning. You see right here, brunch hour, lots of wet weather that takes over from top to bottom across New Jersey, lasting into the 2 and 3 o'clock hour, and might even take over until 5 or 6 that evening. So very wet weather for Saturday, but good news is we clear out beautifully on Sunday. A nice dry start to the Sunday time frame for Mother's Day. So with the clearing that happens on Sunday, we look forward to another round of rain by Monday, and still more rain by the middle of next week. Wednesday time frame is when another wet weather system moves in. So upwards of 2 inches of rain is forecast to fall over the next 7 to 8 days, with another round coming in later next week. So it's a very split weekend forecast, with sunshine, I think, on Saturday, rather rain on Saturday, sunshine on Sunday, milder too, but still a wet start to the weekend, even though we finish nice and warm and dry for Mom.
All right. And very important, we take care of mom. That is essential. So if you
Hmm.
haven't, we want to do that. Very good. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. We checked the temp, 68 degrees northern New Jersey, 64 degrees in Trenton right now. It's 60 down the shore by Cape May. Always a little cooler this time of year down by the down the shore. Just the opposite at the end of the summer, where the shore temperatures, or I should say early fall, the shore temperatures tend to stay a little warmer. They linger. The water temperature always lingers about 2 months behind the air. So that's why right now there's colder temps. There are colder temps at the shore, and in the at the end of the summer, early fall, it'll be just the opposite. It is 19 minutes past 8, and in terms of traffic, what we have is an accident on the Garden State Parkway southbound, north of exit 153A, Route 3 in Clifton. Now, this is about 2 miles before that accident. Look at the buildup already going toward it. So just beware if you're on the Garden State Parkway southbound, north of exit 153A. There's a crash by Route 3 Clifton. That's a left exit. Remember. All lanes are open, just causing a little bit of a slowdown. If you're headed into Philadelphia, avoid going from Pensacola, New Jersey to Philadelphia. Avoid taking the Betsy Ross Bridge. It's one of the 3 connectors in that area across the Delaware River. You want to avoid the Betsy Ross Bridge because right now we have a crash impacting traffic in both directions. This has been going on for well over an hour. It's hard to get an emergency vehicle up onto the bridge. So they're going to have to back it on. So just avoid the Betsy Ross Bridge, both directions right now. We have a hazmat spill, Route 31, both directions, north of Hampton Road, Glen Gardner, all lanes closed. Route 18, there's a gas main break by Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. The right lane is closed. Crash on the Atlantic City Expressway by Winslow Township. The left lane is closed. Move over for emergency workers. And your Hudson River crossings right now, take a look at Route 139, which comes from, there you go, it's bumper to bumper. And that is going from the turnpike, you can see over to the Holland Tunnel, and that's going to cost you about 35 minutes. In the approach to the Lincoln Tunnel, much better by the Helix 495. It's about 20 to 25 minutes. GWB upper and lower levels moving pretty well, actually. You'll see it's heavy, but moving. Upper level on the right, lower on the left. It's going to cost you 25 to 30 minutes in. Well, at Rider, the following, I should say, is brought to you by our friends from Rider University. So now at Rider University, students in the Department of Communication, Journalism, and Media aren't just learning about sports media, they are living it, from producing real content for teams like the Trenton Ironhawks and collaborating with the New Jersey Devils, to working inside actual professional broadcast environments. Hands-on experience is at the core of the program. It's all part of a larger mission to prep students to be skilled communicators in a fast-changing media landscape. And boy, is it ever fast-changing. Joining us now to talk about that approach, Dr. A.J. Moore, Director of the Internship Program, along with Rider Senior Paige McGuire. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Oh, Dr. Moore, I hear that voice. There's a broadcaster voice, for gosh, if I've ever heard it. When I grow up, I want to have half that voice. Dr. Moore, let's start with you. What makes Rider's sports media program unique when it comes to hands-on experiential learning?
Well, Ken, I think the main thing about the Rider Sports Media Program and Rider in general, as we talk about higher education at this particular time in history, really with technology, it's all about what you can do, what you learn in the classroom. We talk about theories, we talk about all these different issues, but ultimately, if you want to go into sports media, what can you do with this knowledge? And I think it's a big part of what we do and focus on is we want students making a portfolio. We want students doing hands-on work. Just think about it, Ken, that there's so many things that a sports media student can do, but you have to show it off to employers. So I think one of the main things that we do at Rider University is our students come in from day one to learn, but to also build a portfolio and do the work that they talk about in class that ultimately they can show to an employer.
Well, Dr. Moore, I spent 20 years at ABC where I would walk into a building that had 125 employees for the local station, and we were right adjacent to the network, and they had another 500 employees over there. Today, it's crickets. You walk into a newsroom, ABC in New York, WABC local, maybe 10, 15 people at any time in the newsroom. The landscape is just changing so rapidly, and all we hear is week in, week out layoffs, shutdowns, etc. What is Rider University doing to prepare those students for this changing environment?
Yeah, Ken, I think having Paige is a perfect example of you're talking about the changing landscape. That Paige is an outstanding student, but also she has the experience in front of the camera, behind the camera. She has experience writing and editing. So, Ken, what you're saying is now in today's media market, one person has to do the job of what somebody, 3 or 4 people would have had to do 10, 15 years ago. So I think if you look at one of our students, such as Paige, that our students are prepared with the idea of what to do, and then the skills in front of the camera, behind the camera, talent, production. It really is often a one-person show, and I think that's what we prepare our students for, is to be ready to do all different things. It's not 4 or 5 people doing all of a production. Often, as you said, it's one person.
Yeah, I mean, doctor, I remember we weren't allowed to touch stuff. We came in, you could get on your computer and write your script or go over your script. You could not edit, you could not shoot. Today, you're right. They determined, all the unions said, okay, anything computer related is open to everybody. So now you are expected to, but it's a whole changing landscape. So Paige, the fact that you are multi-trained is amazing and bodes well for you. Tell us about your experience creating content for a professional team and what you learned from that.
Yeah, I mean, first off, it's been such an amazing experience. I'm very thankful for Dr. Moore for kind of helping me and some of my classmates out with this experiment, this experience. And like he said, it's a lot of hands-on work, and what it's really taught me, compared to a classroom, is meeting deadlines on time. And it's so different from what you're going to get from your boss compared to what critiques you're going to get from your professors and things like that. So, I mean, it's been really cool experience, and I've been able to learn just a lot from it.
So which organizations did you work with? I know that one of your fellow students worked at an ESPN Plus truck. Where have you done some of your work?
So like Dr. Morris mentioned, I've worked with the Trent Ironhawks. I intern with Rider Athletics to make content for them. I also work for Bronc Vision, so ESPN Plus as well. And I also run the Rider Track and Field Instagram account and Morgan's Message as well.
Hey, do you go out? I'm just curious now. Do you go out with a commercial camera, or do you use this? Because I mean, we all tend to shoot at least B-roll on this. Even all the TV stations in Manhattan, all their reporters are shooting B-roll on the phone, and you can't tell the difference
Mhm.
on the air. Is that what you're doing too?
Yeah, I mean, we have access like right at our fingertips. So most, if not all of my content is just shot with my phone.
It's amazing. It is amazing, and the fact that you are multifaceted and trained in front and back of camera. Not only does it make for a better product, but it makes you a more empathetic person in the field when a producer knows how to host and a host understands the rigors of what it is to produce. It makes for better teamwork, as opposed to having the diva on air person who demands, by the way, and I've been in both environments, and it's not pleasant. It's nice when people can understand and respect what each other's job is. Um, Doctor, tell us a website for writers so people could learn more about this incredible program.
Well, definitely go to rider.edu. And I think one of the easiest ways would be put sports media in there. Also, go to YouTube and look up, as Paige was talking about, Rider Athletics Bronc Vision. You can see a lot of different videos where our students, as classwork, I think this is one of the main things to think about if you see some of these videos. These videos are made in class and they run during the ESPN Plus productions. So think about when you watch a game at halftime, there's usually that human interest piece about the player, the coach overcoming something, all of those different human interest elements. Our students are doing that in the classroom. That is their work. We work in a multi-person production element where we're pitching stories, we're doing all different aspects to help each other out to ultimately create content. And one of the things I think is really great for Rider University students is people see that content. You can go and
Mhm.
watch ESPN Plus and see those productions. You can go to YouTube. As Paige was saying, there's a number of different social media outlets. And I think it's one of the big aspects of teaching sports media today. I tell the students, you're not just creating work for me to take home and grade and nobody sees. You're creating work that all the different aspects of society, of rider, of parents, of families, of employers, they see the work. And I think that's a big change in today's higher education, that you're not just writing a
Absolutely.
paper for the professor to look at and then give you a grade and it disappears. Our students' work lives on, and a lot of different people can see it and enjoy it.
And that's a great thing. Rider.edu is the website. Dr. A.J. Moore, director of the internship program, along with Rider senior Paige McGuire. Best of luck to you, Paige. Continued luck to you, Doctor. It was great having you both on. And go Rider, another one of the 1,000 reasons to love Rider University. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You you bet. Coming up on 8:30 right now, and Mother's Day is this Sunday. Do you have plans? We have a special treat with a special chef. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato on your Wednesday hump day. It is the 6th of May, 2026, 8:32 right now. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says, any little streams of sunshine left this morning, they're going
They're
bye-bye.
already
Bye,
gone.
bye,
They're already
bye. Yes.
gone. Forget it. Yeah.
There's
Went to go
not even
collect
an
the
inch of New Jersey.
No, no, I went to go collect the recycle bins. Cloudy, completely overcast. So there you go. Just in the span of the last 90 minutes, we went from gorgeous blue sky, yeah, right back to clouds. And it's those clouds, Ken, that stick around today. Bring back the rain in the next, say, few minutes with that wet weather taking over very quickly, especially across southern New Jersey. Highs today struggling to get back into the 70s, likely at the 50s along the coast. And we really hit our high for the day early on, even though it's a warm southwesterly wind. It's windy with those gusts right now up into the 20, 30 mile per hour range, and the forecast gusts going as high as, say, 30 miles per hour down the shore. Not as windy tomorrow, but a wind shift blowing in some drier wind, and that'll cool us down with temperatures not expected to get back into the 60s at least until Saturday and Sunday. So cooler weather ahead over the next few days. All that wind blowing around the pollen, keeping the pollen levels very high for trees and grasses. We'll be back to the high levels and much lower even, maybe even go as low as moderate by this afternoon as the rain comes down. So with the average high of the day for 70 degrees, look at those sunset and sunrise times now before 6 a.m., closing in on 8 p.m. Very, very pleasant. So here are the clouds now working across New Jersey. Oh, there is, I guess, still a sliver down toward Atlantic City, an inch, if you will, of sunshine left. But the rain is already taking over across Route 80 right at the Delaware Water Gap. And with that, all of that wet weather that gets going into tomorrow, we see the rain chances go down by tomorrow, but they're back on Saturday, lower on Sunday, and then more rain Monday. So today, Saturday, Monday, rainy days. Beyond that, just a chance of a sprinkle, especially tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at the futurecast showing the big shades of green. Those are all along the lines, the front that will push through, providing drier weather by tomorrow. Friday is gorgeous, looks nice and clear. Maybe some afternoon clouds and a few sprinkles perhaps, but it's Saturday that's really wet, especially midday. And once that clears, we're back to sunshine for Friday or for Sunday rather, and a beautiful finish to the weekend. 7-day forecast looking wet today, but turning drier by tomorrow. Friday is clear, Saturday wet all day, Sunday warming up into the 70s, and then holding in the 60s on Monday and Tuesday of next week, with our next chance for rain beyond that on Monday. The short points pretty much the same, not anticipating too much of a cool down at the beaches, not like it's beach weather, with this almost April-like feel, Ken, that sticks around through the next week.
Mother Nature's really screwed up with the old calendar this year. I don't want
Oh,
to upset
yeah.
her, but I think we have to have a little talk. A little talk.
Like
It
it
might be a
skipped a
little
page.
memory issue as she's getting a little older. It happens to all of us. All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you as always. We look at the temperatures. We have 68 degrees northern New Jersey, 64 in Trenton. It is 62 in Cape May, that ocean temperature, a little cooler, and 65 degrees inland in Vineland. We look at the traffic, and we got a lot of it. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway down by Toms River. We have a crash on the Garden State southbound north of exit one. I'm sorry, got the wrong one here. Got two different issues on the Garden State. This is a crash on the Garden State northbound, south of the Toms River Toll Plaza in Toms River. The left lane is blocked, so you can see the vehicle right there. It's not causing any kind of major delays. It's more for safety. We're letting you know that left lane is blocked, so kind of hard to tell from the angle. But that crash happened in the last 15 minutes. Again, that's by the exit 82, 83 area of the Garden State Parkway. So look out for that. Now, further north, where the Garden State meets Route 3, and we're talking like 50 miles north, quite a bit north, by exit 153A, there is a crash. It's been worked on for the last hour now, and that is by the, southbound side, north of exit 153A, Route 3 in Clifton. All lanes open, but the emergency vehicles are off on the shoulder working on that. We have a problem now with a hazmat spill on Route 31, both directions impacted north of Hampton Road, Glen Gardner, all lanes closed. And then over on Route 18 in East Brunswick Township, there's a gas main break by Edgeboro Road. The right lane is closed for that. Atlantic City Expressway has a crash eastbound by exit 38. Left lane is currently closed. Move over for emergency workers, please. Hudson River Crossings, a lot of interesting things going on. Right now, your Lincoln Tunnel approach is probably going to be your best. It's only 20 minutes in by 495. This is the Holland Tunnel approach now, Route 139 from the Turnpike into the Holland Tunnel. Very heavy all morning, 35 minutes in. And now we have a problem on the GWB. So the upper level has a disabled vehicle, GWB westbound. So that is making your way into New Jersey, but it's causing eastbound problems. We see that pink truck is, that's going to the upper level eastbound. There are rubbernecking delays. But you notice all the traffic coming westbound seems very light. Yeah, it's very light because it's all getting stuck on the westbound bridge right now. That's why when you see no cars in those lanes, that's because all the traffic is backed up into Manhattan trying to make its way into New Jersey. That's why it's so light in the other direction. But there you have it. So eastbound, those of you heading into Manhattan, you can see the lower level on the left, upper on the right. It's going to cost you about 35 to 40 minutes in. 38 minutes past the hour, and Mother's Day is right around the corner. It's this coming Sunday, in fact. If you are still looking for a thoughtful and unique way to celebrate, there is a local spot offering something really special. There's a place called Pop's Corner. If you're in Hoboken, you know this place. They have teamed up with a local candle company to create a limited edition Mother's Day box that blends all sorts of goodies, sweet treats, a keepsake gift. Joining us now to talk about it is Chef Rachel LeBron, who is pastry chef at Pop's Corner, to share more about this really cool collaboration and the inspiration behind it. Good morning to you, Chef.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
Great. I love the fact that you are getting together with other businesses in the area because Hoboken is rich with a lot of great little holes in the wall that the locals go to. Hoboken is a walking city, 1 mile square. And I love that you have like neighborhood joints and local candle shops and things like that old neighborhoods used to have, but a lot don't have anymore. So talk about the inspiration behind this Mother's Day box.
So, in thinking about Mother's Day, we kind of wanted to do something a little bit different, but of course, cater to the moms. Flowers are great, cards are great, but those kind of things kind of get left behind and also die. So, who doesn't love a candle, obviously, and who doesn't love some sweet treats? So, in our box, we decided to include the lemon blueberry candle, which we did in partnership with Hoboken Candle, and some of our May treats for the month, which include our lemon blueberry cookie, our mango sticky boardwalk square, and our crowd favorites, which is our chocolate chip and our confetti cookies.
I love it. And by the way, a very dear friend of mine is a pastry chef in Manhattan. He always says, you pastry chefs are real chefs because anybody can cook savory, but only a pastry chef can make pastries. And I'm a
I mean,
cook. I'm a terrible baker. So it's true. So I applaud my pastry chef friend here. And so if my mommy gets this box and she opens it up, tell me about the special treats inside. You got some of those yummies that you talked about, and you got the candle too. How do you keep the candle from imparting its flavor on the?
oh, they did a really good job with sealing it, so that's all taken care of, and we also seal on our end as well. So no, no funky flavors there.
I love it, but I love, and there are certain scents that are very popular for springtime. Talk about the scents of the candles too.
For sure. We were kind of going back and forth, trying to figure out what would be good in a candle, but also good in a cookie. And for me, lemon and blueberry kind of scream, the season that we're coming up on, summer, the warmer weather. So that's kind of where we landed. But how can you go wrong with either one, honestly?
You can't. I love those both. And that is it just screams springtime. It's perfect. And then what better way? Maybe you could buy the box, give it to mom, but also take mom out to Pops for a little brunch on Mother's Day. You still have some room there?
Of course. The cutoff is since passed, but of course for the latecomers, they'll have the opportunities to create their box of their own choosing. We'll have these available, and they can come and pick their own treats from mom. So we welcome
That is
all.
so cool. How I have to
Yeah.
ask you, what time do you get in and start baking every day?
We get in around 7. We don't go too crazy. We do pretty well with prepping ourselves ahead of time so we don't have to get here
Okay.
before the sun is up. I mean, there are some days where that's necessary, but we've made it work with 7, so it's not too
And
bad.
I'm guessing this is a passion for you. You love what you do, don't you?
Oh, I do. You have to. You have to love
Yeah.
what you do.
Yeah, and the good thing about sweets like that is you don't have to do because you're not a bakery, you're baking in a restaurant, right? So you don't have to bake 500 of something. You can make a smaller batch and let it be fresh and let it go that day, right?
We actually are a bakery, so we do have to bake in those quantities sometimes.
Sorry,
I
I
know,
didn't
surprise.
forgive me.
No,
Forgive
no,
me.
it's
I didn't
okay.
realize. So
Yeah,
you're baking
yeah.
your backside off every day. Forgive me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man. Wow. So that's cool. See, I updated my facts wrong. I apologize.
It's
Now,
okay.
what
It's okay.
separates your desserts from others in the area?
So there's of course a lot of great bakeries around. Our goal was to kind of set ourselves apart and create what we kind of feel as though would be our Jersey Shore style cookie mostly. That's kind of been our bread and butter here. We kind of wanted to bring out, larger than life items, really give that wow factor and kind of make it so that you have to come here to get these kind of treats. So,
I love it. I love it. What's the response been like from the customers?
oh, it's been great. It's been huge. We're compared a lot to places in the city, which is always great, because like I said, you don't really get that down here. They're super impressed, again, super wowed by the whole thing. So exactly what we're looking to do here.
What's your website there, Rachel, so that they can get more info or order stuff?
Absolutely. It is popscornernj.com.
Love it, love it, love it. Rachel LeBron, pastry chef extraordinaire at Pop's Corner, Hoboken, works her backside to make you enjoy your sweet treats. Happy Mother's Day if you're celebrating either way for your mom or yourself. Thank you so much for coming on, Chef. It was great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Pop's Corner at Hoboken, AARP, New Jersey. Our good friends coming up next. Don't go away. And welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. I am him, Ken Rosato. It is 46 minutes past the hour, Wednesday, May 6, 2026. Good to have you aboard. It is a nice morning, if you don't mind the incoming clouds. It's going to change because we're going to get some rain, and meteorologist Mike Favetta, I'll give you his phone number so you could call him and complain about the rain. But we do need the rain, don't we, Mike?
Yeah, it'll go right to voicemail with all the other spam calls, right? Because you don't get 50 of those a day. If you'd like to lower your interest rates, Ken, just call me. With our forecast looking really, really wet throughout this afternoon. The rainfall throughout the weekend will bring back anywhere from a half inch to a whole inch by Saturday afternoon. So it's really the Saturday time frame where we get a good soaking. You see these numbers go up to an inch there, right through Morristown and Hackensack, with most of the wet weather falling across northern New Jersey. Southern New Jersey taps into a good soaking as well. It's rain we really need because we've only received about half of average, and with that, the shades of red are in about a 2-inch rainfall deficit going right down to Cape May. So the drought continues with a severe drought now for southern New Jersey, but northern New Jersey taps into more rain right now as the rain has already started across western sections of Morris County, Warren County, and out toward Huntington County. You can already see the shade of green through the middle of the month, talking about above average rainfall, and it's cooler than average as well, not just for New Jersey, but most of the Northeast, where all of the heat is down toward the southwest. The 7-day forecast has plenty of clear sky returning tomorrow. Friday, beautiful. Saturday, rain pretty much most of the day, but it clears out beautifully for Mother's Day. Lots of sunshine on Sunday. Monday sees the rain return yet again, and then by the middle of next week, could see another round of showers. So certain days, very wet. Other days, very sunny, kind of day by day. The differences in the forecast are pretty dramatic, Ken.
All right, sir. Thank you very, very much, Mike, and enjoy your day. I know you got 2 babies and a doggy to feed now. And take care of a very tired wife who's been taking care of her newborn baby. All right, sir. We'll catch you again in the mañana. Thank you, Mike.
See you later.
8:48 right now. You bet. 67 degrees northern New Jersey, 64 degrees in Trenton, at 61 degrees in Cape May, and 65 in Vineland. We check our traffic. We go to the Garden State Parkway first, and there's a crash. Garden State northbound, south of Toms River Toll Plaza in Toms River. This is like by exit 83 in that area. You can see this vehicle. It's about half an hour. Has been stuck off on the left lane there, crashed apparently into the median. Don't know how serious it is, but the person doesn't appear injured. Wisely staying in the car. If ever you have an accident where you break down on the highway, under no circumstances do you get out of your vehicle. Unless there's a fire in your car, you do not get out of your vehicle. Please, that is the only thing protecting you from another car hitting you. Okay? That is the rule that they tell us from the state police. We have other issues in the region. There's a hazmat spill, Route 31, both directions north of Hampton Road in Glen Gardner. All lanes are closed. We got problems going into the Lincoln Tunnel. If we look at 495 right now, did you want to do 495 or 139 first, Pam? I guess we'll do, yeah, that's 139. Okay, we'll do that. So first, let's talk about this. This is Route 139 coming from the Turnpike into the Holland Tunnel. This has been a mess all morning, and now it's up to 40 minutes in. Just an absolute bumper-to-bumper mess. You could pull up the 495 Cam Pam. I'll talk about this. It is a gas main break. Route 18 southbound by Old Bridge Turnpike in East Brunswick. The right lane of 3 lanes closed. Now we go over to the 495, which is the Helix approach to the Lincoln Tunnel. You can see those middle lanes. That's what takes you to the Helix. You can see New York in the background. And that has been a mess. In fact, right now what we have, it says here, what did they just tell us? We have an issue. It says just delays Lincoln Tunnel, South Tunnel eastbound. It says travel time 40 to 45 minutes. And that is simply due to volume. We thought that there might have been an incident, but just volume. Finally, your GWB, upper and lower levels, 8095 approach, issues right now, on GWB because there was a westbound incident mid-span on the upper level. It's causing eastbound rubbernecking. You see that on the right side. The left side, just volume, and that's going to cost you 40 minutes into Manhattan. It is now time for... And now, a word from our friends from AARP New Jersey. Well, scammers are becoming more sophisticated every year. They target people with phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, and even now AI, artificial intelligence. New Jersey communities are working to educate residents on how to recognize these scams. And we're going to be talking with a council member, Louise Scott Roundtree of the Newark City Council, and now, and she's also, by the way, an advocacy volunteer. And then we will be talking to Chris Widello, who is Associate State Director of Advocacy for AARP New Jersey, good friend of the show. We say good morning to you. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken. Good to see you. How's everything?
Chris, I know that the council member will be joining us hopefully in just a little bit, but let's talk about this fraud awareness and how important it is now more than ever before, and how specifically seniors get trapped. I can't tell you how many times I get a call, and thankfully she calls first before she clicks. My mother's 87. She's pretty savvy, though, with her phone and her computer, but she will show me something that even I have to take a triple look at. And she says, I just got this from the power company. They're saying they're going to cut us off because we haven't paid. I'm like, do not click. How is this happening still in this era, and why is it happening even more?
Yeah, you have to question and scrutinize everything. It is you are just bombarded, and older adults are oversampled in a way that other adults are not. So they're hit up more times than maybe the average person who's not older. But 42% of Americans have been have had money taken from them through fraud or scams. So that's about 141 million people across the country, and that adds up to billions of dollars every single year. It's everywhere. And I think, thank goodness your mom's savvy enough to be able to kind of, double check and make sure. And I think that that's the right approach. You have to question, is this legitimate?
Yeah, two of her friends fell for the you have to buy the gift card scam. And no legitimate organization, right, whether it's government, power company, phone company, no legitimate corporation, organization will ever tell you you need to pay with a gift card. But yet, you get so many who get scared. And now with AI, as we mentioned, AI, they could sample a person's voice, and you might even hear a voice that sounds like your child's voice. And we've had the kidnapping scam. We have your child here, take a listen, boom, and they play a clip of their voice. And now you think, oh my God, I better go out and buy $5,000 in gift cards. This is happening constantly. So now I guess the main thing is, you have to call the police and alert them in your community when this happens immediately, right?
Yeah, it all starts there, right? So, like you said, no legitimate payment is requested through gift cards. If you are asked to do something for any reason, pay through a gift card, cryptocurrency, that is not legitimate, especially government entities. You're never going to be asked to pay your taxes through gift cards or cryptocurrency. And AI is now so prevalent and so good that scammers and fraudsters are figuring out how to use this. And like you said, they can impersonate your voice, and to try to separate you from your money. It's a crime, and so you have to. I've heard of people, saying that they have like a code word. So if they are being asked for something, they say, what's our secret word? I mean, but you have to take these type of precautions. But if you find yourself a victim of a fraud, you need to start with the local police. And even if they say, hey, I don't know that it's worth it, what are we going to do? Filing the police report is the first step. So if there is ever a situation where there is some restitution, or they catch these fraudsters, you will be, legally entitled to some type of restitution. If you have that police report, that's how you report the crime. So it's really important to start there. And then we also have the Fraud Watch Network at AARP, which can give you some counseling and tell you what some next steps could be.
Yeah, I'm happy to announce also that a supermarket near me here I'm in northern New Jersey, and over the holidays, I went to buy a number of gift cards. I bought maybe 10, I think, Visa gift cards. And the cashier, I guess it's part of the supermarket's program. The cashier looked at me, and I guess I'm not looking like I'm 20 anymore, Chris. And the cashier said, I mean, maybe 25. Cashier said
Not a
to
day
me,
over 30.
God bless you. This is why I watch you on AARP on New Jersey. The cashier said, "Are you buying this for somebody? Or have you been coerced?" Or they went through a whole litany, and I was so thankful. I know some people would say, "Just give me the cards." I was so thankful and grateful that they asked those questions, because if they're asking me, they're asking others, and it could be anyone's relative who is in a circumstance where they just think, as smart as they are, that maybe I'd better do this or else my relative's life could be in jeopardy or something. So I was glad that they took the time to do that. And I'm guessing we're seeing that more and more, but still not enough to alert people, especially in their older age, that there are scammers out there at every turn.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're so grateful that some businesses are taking that approach, helping warn people that just want to make sure that this is you're not trying to pay a bill or some type of tax bill or something like that, because I think people get right when you are posed with this thing that I haven't paid a bill, or maybe somebody's in trouble. it's preying on your emotions. You're not thinking necessarily clearly. You're worried about, like, how do I get this resolved, right? I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to, my loved one needs dollars. I need to get them there. There's also romance scams where people, fake a relationship to get to your money. And so, sometimes we don't make the best decisions when we're under pressure. And that's why it's important to talk to somebody else. Say, hey, does this sound right? Should I be doing this? Or, thankfully we have, people working in stores that are able to sort of intercept some of this, or just at least, stop you and make you think a little bit. But we need more of it. And we need to make sure there are protections in place to ensure that these scams, are stopped. It's a $1 billion industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry every single year, and they're getting good. But we have to remember, this is a crime.
Chris, what's a website for more information from friends, you guys at AARP?
Yeah, absolutely. We have so much to offer. www.aarp.org/NJ.
Awesome. Chris Widello, Associate State Director of Advocacy for AARP New Jersey. I love when you come on, so we got to get you on even more than just this segment. You have so much information for everybody. Always great to have
see
you
you
on.
soon. I'll take you up on it. Thanks, Ken.
You bet. Please. Thank you. And that's on New Jersey Mornings for your Wednesday. I'm Ken Rosato. See you again tomorrow. Take care.